It's time for Assassin's Creed 2. I really do like the game, and beating it made me want to do this series of videos, although I didn't realize how much of an undertaking it is to make a video on a game basically based around its story, when you don't really talk about the story of games anymore. But I'll do my best. First up comes the most important part of any game for me, the combat system and gameplay. Yes, it's true. When I go into a game, I don't care about the story from the beginning. Rather, I see if I like how the game plays and go from there. The combat system in Assassin's Creed 2 is much more refined than that of the first game. They even add a ton more tools to your disposal, while adding in some weapons from the original. You have the hidden blades, sword, unarmed strikes, dagger, throwing knives, a poison injector built into one of the hidden blades, and a gun built into the other blade, and you also have medicine to heal yourself mid-battle. Obviously, the sword, unarmed strikes, and hidden blades work pretty similar based off the last game, so let's talk about the new weapons. The dagger, I believe it just attacks faster than the sword. I never used it in my entire playthrough, despite upgrading it. The poison blade does just that. You stab someone with it, they get poisoned. But in this game, it works like what later entries call Berserk, making the afflicted target lash out at everyone they see before they die. The hidden gun is pretty good for long-range targets that haven't noticed you yet, or, if you get lucky, up-close armor units that you can't be bothered to deal with. And I guess I might as well talk about the smoke bomb that helped you escape from battle. Or maybe the coins that allow you to distract guards by having them go after the money, or by dealing with the large crowd in front of them, allowing you to come up behind them for an instant kill, or just a way to get past them. Next up, we have the parkour system, and honestly, I don't have that many issues with it. They did add these support ropes that you can use to get from roof to roof easier. You can actually tell where you need to climb in most areas, as they have more texturing to show foothold and grabbable ledges. There are also bars to swing on for faster movement, as well as hanging flower pots that you can use to get around corners of buildings quickly. The parkour mechanics feel great here, as I didn't have as many issues with missing my target, or just straight up jumping the wrong way. Although I did experience a few glitches with it, they were nothing major. The stealth system is still a bit lacking in this game, as you still don't have the ability to crouch and get close to your targets without them realizing. You are constantly standing straight up and very noticeable, but in order to give some kind of actual stealth, they made it so you can hide in groups of people or hire companions to help you get through the city undetected. You can hire courtesans to stay around you, making you invisible, or using them to draw guards away, soldiers to start a fight so you can slip away, or thieves who make all the guards chase after them after stealing something. They did also improve heavily on the hiding spots, with them no longer requiring you to stay in them until the guards are no longer looking for you, since the guards can actually search hiding spots that they believe you might be in. You can also assassinate targets from inside hiding spots now and hide their bodies in hay piles and such. And although it's unrelated to stealth, I have nowhere else to put it, but you can now pick up and hide bodies so that guards aren't immediately suspicious of you in the corpse's vicinity. You can also loot the bodies for money and ammunition. The collectibles in this game are interesting, but luckily not as hard to find in this game, as when you get near one, you can hear wind chimes. Assassin's Creed 2 brings in 100 feathers spread all across the various areas, 330 treasure chests, which are strewn about randomly and constantly, 12 statuettes, which are only found in the Villa Auditore, 30 codex pages, which you have to find in order to complete the game, 6 assassin tombs, which you need to complete to get the seals to unlock Altair's armor, 3 Templar bases, which you go through and get more codex pages from, and 20 glyphs, which unlock a hidden cutscene after solving all their puzzles. They didn't feel all that annoying to find, honestly, with codex pages and treasure chests being marked on maps that you can buy. The main issue became all the rest, as none of them show up on any maps, and while they were a bit more of a challenge, it wasn't impossible to find them all on my own. Also, for anyone wondering, that's 501 collectibles to gather. This game has side missions. I mean, did you think they wouldn't when they even had some in the first game? The side missions aren't too hard, with the most difficult ones being killing someone without being spotted. There are 5 courier missions, which just means run as fast as you can to deliver a letter to its recipient. There are 30 assassination targets that aren't required by the story that can be rather difficult, especially when they come with the prerequisite of remaining undetected, which, with little to no stealth system in place, makes things a lot harder. There are 6 races, which just require you to run or ride a horse through the checkpoints under a certain time to grab the record time. And finally, there are 5 beat-em-up missions where you beat up an unfaithful husband who's been cheating on their wife. And yes, that literally is all of them. Overall, I found most of these side objectives fun, with only a few of them making me want to smash the assassination target's head into a wall until... This game gives you the ability to customize yourself, mainly just with colors, since the armor isn't just cosmetic. You can go to different clothing shops and buy upgraded armor, which looks cool, and then dye the fabric around the armor to be a different color. But I feel like white or black looks best on the assassin outfits, so that's mainly what I stayed with. You can also, through the Ubisoft Club, buy Altair's basic attire to walk around in. But why would you do that when you can get Altair's fully upgraded armor, which looks so much better? Speaking of the armor, it is being held in the Villa Auditore, which you can buy upgrades for to make some passive money for yourself, and also get new things in the nearby shops. Since I don't talk about the entire story anymore, I figured with Assassin's Creed I should at least mention the playable character's driving force that caused him to go forth and do anything in the game, and when in the game that gets resolved. In this game, Ezio becomes an assassin to avenge his brothers and father, who were hung when the Templars framed them for a crime they didn't commit. Ezio goes through the whole game killing anyone who is a part of the small group within the Templars that set his family up, and makes good progress throughout the whole game, with the head of the group being the final battle. Oh, and by the way, I should mention that by the end of the game, this guy has become the Pope. So yes, Ezio is having a fist fight with the Pope to avenge the death of his family. I realize whilst typing this up that this story beat is going to end up being very familiar by the end of the series, as I already know that it's this entire driving force of Origins at least, but not sure about any others having the same plotline. So, in conclusion, I absolutely love this game, and it seems like a lot of other people do too, since it seems to be a common thing to find people saying that the series peaked at Assassin's Creed 2 and has gone downhill ever since. So, how did I end up rating this game? Well, I give it a 9 out of 10. I really did enjoy this game and love seeing the improvements from the first game to this one, and can't wait to see how it improves further. And yes, I do see how that sounds like I'm saying this as if there's no other games that currently exist, but really I just haven't played them yet. Yeet.
He was charging up a super jump.